Hi, bestie. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Amber and I own Artfully Divine, which is basically a stationery shop at the moment. I wanted to do something a little bit different and kind of have a heart to heart and talk more about happiness and peace. So I have a bunch of notes of topics that I wanted to talk about. It's really easy to kind of get sucked into this hustle culture and consistently feeling like you always need to be doing something. And no matter what you do, you feel like you're not enough, or no matter what you do, it's never enough. And you feel like your expectations is not currently where your reality currently is, or whether you believe that you should be in a different point in your life, especially for women in today's society. There's so many things that is expected of us by the time that you're 25. You're expected to have like a family, a house, a career, and in reality, that's not feasible for a lot of people like me. Currently, I'm 28. I don't have kids. I am not married yet, but I do have a career and I just started my small business journey. Like, that timeline does not line up with a lot of people's expectations. It does not line up with where I thought I would be at this current moment in time in my life. And sometimes that is a little hard. It's a big pill to swallow, especially if your expectation does not meet your reality. And I saw this quote where it was like, where your happiness is the in between expectation and reality. If that's something that resonates with you, I believe that this video is for you. Let me first preface this by saying that no matter where you are in life, no matter where you think you should be, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. You're in the correct timeline. You're worthy of taking up space and pursuing your dreams. I think it's so easy to kind of just doom scroll on your phone and compare yourself to a complete stranger, compare yourself to your friends and your families, and think that, is that where I should be? It's super easy to compare yourself, but you have to remember that their timeline and your timeline is different. And what's on social media is not necessarily what they're going through on their everyday lives. Everyone has their own battles and everyone is unique in their own special way, especially you. You have something beautiful to offer into this world. No one's journey will ever look the same or be the same because everyone is unique and everyone offers something different. Take pride in the fact that there will never, ever be another you in the world. So really there's no rush in anything because we're here for different reasons. This is not a race. You make up the rules to your own life. If you want to start a new career, do it. If you want to go back to school, do it. If you want to drop out, do it. If you want to start your own business, do it. If you want to completely just be a couch potato today, do it. You need some rest. It's okay to be ambitious and to have goals, but it's also okay to be grateful of where you currently are in life. And it's also okay that your goals look completely different than other people's goals because this is your life. You only have one. You're allowed to dream big and to be bold. I know in my heart that you can do anything that you put your mind to. You just have to believe it as well. And now that we're talking about manifesting and living your dream life and being bold, now's the time to get granular in your plan. Like, it's one thing to manifest something, it's one thing to dream big, it's another thing to actually put in motion your plan. So, by getting granular, what I truly mean is think of like the bigger picture. Like, what's your dream that you want it to look like 5 years, 3 years, and 1 year from now? For example, my dream is to be my own boss and have a very successful stationery and art business that brings joy and meaning into my life and happiness into others through the art that I bring them. And then I want you to go ahead and break it down into a 5 year goal. So, what does your dream look like in 5 years? For me, in 5 years, I really want my own shop. And then from there, I want you to break it down into 3 years. So, what is your 3 year goal? For me, my 3 year goal would be to establish a really secure online presence. I want it to be like an empire. I want it to look great. I want it to have consistent sales. I want to also do pop ups here and there, and I want those to be successful. From 5 years to 3 years, I want you to think about your 1 year plan. So, your 1 year plan is kind of where you get a little bit more granular. In order to achieve your big dream, your passion, I want you to think about what that 1 year plan would look like. So, for me, that 1 year plan would just to build a foundation and to stay consistent in everything that I do in order to build that online presence of my 3 year plan. And also, since I also want to do pop ups, I want to do at least like one or two here and there to see if it is something that I actually would like to do. Now, since we kind of had like the overall goal of the overall dream, 5 year dream, the 3 year dream, and the 1 year dream. This part is where it gets a little bit more tricky because you need to get even more granular. I want you to be granular and realistic of your dream. So, this is the part where you are a lot more granular and a lot more realistic. So, I want you to take a look at your current lifestyle. I want you to take a look at your current work week, what that looks like, and then break it down to see what you have available on a daily and weekly basis. For example, I work a full time job, which is 40 hours per week, but I have Saturday and Sunday off to really just kind of pursue whatever I want to pursue. So let's break it down. Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. just getting ready for work, commuting to work, and then working in general. And then from 4 to 5:30 p.m., I usually do some exercise. This is usually where I go to the gym and work out, or I come home and work out. And then from 5:30 to 6:30 is more of like household maintenance and like kind of cool down. So this is where I do chores. So we have cats. I take care of my cats. I prep for the next day for work. I put all my things away. So that's kind of like that block period. And then from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., that's usually when I get really hungry, especially after I work out. This is kind of where my relaxing time gets from. So it's like where I'm eating and recuperating, and I usually watch like a show. And then from 7:30 to 9 p.m. is usually like my working window from Monday through Friday, because I could either, depending on how my day goes and where I am in my cycle, I either couch potato or I feel very, I guess, inspired for my work, for my business. And even if I feel like couch potatoing, I always try to draw or color on my iPad for my stickers or my greeting cards or any project that I'm working on, just because it's easier. I either do that or I work on my website or I edit YouTube videos, something that's super easy. I like to do things that is efficient and easy as possible. So I literally do everything on my phone. I record on my phone, I edit on my phone, I take product photos on my phone, I post reels on my phone. I do like literally everything on my phone. But I mean, eventually I want to upgrade into like a really nice camera, but I don't have time for that. So 7:30 to 9 p.m. is realistically my window of doing anything for my business. And then from 9 to 10 p.m. is kind of when I get ready and I like get ready for bed, and then I do it all again. So that's usually what my Mondays through Fridays look like. So realistically, I have about an hour and a half to actually do anything on a daily basis for my business, for my small business, for my dream, for my passion project. And then Saturday and Sunday, this is kind of the time frame where I have a lot more leeway because I don't have a full time job on the weekend. I have basically all day. But because I'm an adult, I have a lot more responsibilities. So Saturday and Sunday is usually like our weekends for chores, for grocery shopping, and prepping for the next week. Sometimes during the weekend, I also have some socializing that I like to do, depending if I want to hang out with my family or my friends. All in all, when I kind of think about it, I have maybe approximately 4 hours throughout the day to kind of really truly work on my business, and that's at least, right? So that could look anywhere from making inventory, recording a YouTube video, editing a YouTube video, painting, drawing, like brainstorming, planning, like updating my website, updating my Etsy shop, so it all looks very different. Realistically, I have about an hour to an hour and a half Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, I have maybe about at least 4 hours a day. So that's about 15.5 hours a week. Now, it doesn't really sound like a lot, but if you think about it, it compounds, right? Everything becomes easier. It becomes second nature because it's just a part of your routine. That's 806 hours a year if I am consistent. Sometimes it does feel overwhelming, but then I do remind myself that that is for my dreams, that is for my future self, that is for my soul, my passion project, and everything. So to me, even though it's a lot, it does get overwhelming sometimes, it definitely is worth it. Okay, so my week looks a little bit something like this. So Sundays, I create or make art. I also film what I'm creating. So that creates content for the stuff that I'm editing on the week ahead. And I also am trying to batch film things. So I have on the weekend, I have the ability to really record what I'm doing without feeling rushed. So I have 2 to 3 videos that I can edit and schedule for the upcoming week. Mondays are when I edit my short form videos, which are my shorts for YouTube, my reels for Instagram. And then once those are done, I schedule them to be uploaded throughout the week. Tuesdays are where I edit my long form videos. And this is the day where I do a lot of my raw edits, which is just the baseline of the storyline. I don't add anything extra. Wednesday is when I continue to edit my long form videos, and this is kind of where I make sure that the storyline sounds a lot better, and also adding in any of the graphics and the pictures and then like the subtitles and everything. Thursdays is basically the same thing. I just finalized my editing of my long form videos. Friday is the final review of my video, and then I also make thumbnails and I create a title and a description for that video, and then I schedule it to upload on Saturday. On Saturday, I ensure that my video is actually uploaded and it's working correctly. And then Saturday is when I continue making art, drawing, painting. If everything's finished, this is kind of where I do like my inventory and or take product photos and product listings so that I can post it on like Instagram and YouTube and for my websites. I just kind of repeat that process. Now that's more of like a schedule for me making sure that I'm staying consistent with growing my online presence, especially my main focus is YouTube and creating more products for my websites. Every week is different. Sometimes I throw in like working on my website here and there. It's usually on the weekends because I don't feel rushed. My main strategy is just creating art, recording it, editing, and uploading. So if my day-to-day basis looks like that, I feel like my goals are being achieved and I'm getting this much closer to achieving those dreams. Moral of the story is appreciate where you are in life because you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And remember that you are the best project that you will ever work on. You are exactly where you're supposed to be in life, and that's okay if your timeline, if your goals, if your dreams look different than everyone else's, because what fun is it in having the same dream as everyone else? Everyone would be the same, no one would be unique. Remember that you are the only you that will ever be in the world. Once you think of your dream and you give yourself some grace of where you currently are in life, your dream is like a huge goal that you've been kind of putting off because of life and everything. Just remember that it's possible and you can set up a plan, be realistic and granular with how you can actually achieve that goal because little steps, little movements add up. Invest in yourself because you are worth it. All right, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for staying tuned, and I hope that this video brought you some inspiration, and I hope you go out there, pursue your dreams and kill it because I know that you can. You just have to believe it too. And until next week, I'll see you folks later. Bye.